Clap it up. Make sure y'all sharing the class and all that, thumbs ups and likes and all that online stuff. Now then, questions online, just put them in the chat. Questions in the room, just raise your hand. You understand? We're going to get into, for people online, y'all can see it on the screen. For the brothers in the room, mute that. For the brothers in the room, y'all should pull it up on your phone. I put it in the chat. Y'all should put it in the chat. All right. I mean, y'all should have it in the chat and pull it up on your phone. So somebody read the title. Read the title of this story you're about to read. You see it on the screen on YouTube, right? The bio. Like the story. No, I'm just asking, do you see the story on YouTube? Like, is it showing?
Sir, I'm trying to find it, but I can't find it. What you said it's on my phone.
No. Like, click the YouTube video that we live on and make sure that it's viewable on YouTube. Like, click the live screen. There we go. The water. You can read the story in the bio.
Say,
you pronounce her name Pelosi.
Pelosi. Equality Act could lead to more parents losing custody of the kids who wants gender transition.
Read that one more time.
Pelosi. Equality Act could lead to more parents losing custody of kids who wants gender transitions.
Pelosi's Equality Act could lead to more parents losing custody of kids who want gender transition. Now, this story is actually about a year or two old. It's about a 2-year-old story. This is about a 2-year-old story that went under the radar because, of course, the agenda in America is to have your kids chop it off. That's the agenda. The agenda is to have all the kids in America have gender reassignment surgery. All right. Read me part of the story. Let's get into it.
Come. Director of the Richard and Helen DeVos Center.
Where you at? No. Americans.
Americans have long understood that children are best cared by their parents. That
the state
can only intervene in the family when there is demonstrable evidence of abuse and neglect.
Meaning the state can only or is only supposed to have the power or supposed to even threaten or get into the processes of taking your children when there's evidence that you are abusing them or neglecting them. Meaning you're not just beating them, you're leaving. Okay, let me say it like this. These terms in the ghetto are, it varies, right? Not terms, but how you would describe this in our neighborhoods vary. So if you beat your child at all, they call that abuse. If you discipline your child in any form, you could yell at your child. And some will say that it's verbal abuse. You understand? They actually have a law, so you can be arrested for verbal abuse because it's in a type of it's in a what you call it? It's a type of assault, verbal assault. So you're arguing with somebody too aggressively, it's now verbal assault. You understand? So if you verbally abuse your kids, Kashak,
I've been locked up for this verbally assaulting somebody.
you are not the only brother. You're not the only brother in the school.
Wow.
God.
I didn't believe that this goes on.
Yeah, verbal assault. If you talk too aggressively to somebody and they call the cops and they say, well, I feared that he would do something because of how aggressive he talked, they can charge you with verbal assault and you'll be in the back of that cruiser on the way to the station.
No bad. Calm, slow.
You understand? So that's today's abuse. Of course, in the past, you know the stories of, you know, your mother getting a twig from in the backyard, what you call a switch, right? Everybody knows about the belt, that the switch, the hanger. You understand? She couldn't find nothing in time. Like she just went to the closet and grabbed the hanger because she was sick of your shenanigans. She couldn't take it. She couldn't wait to find the damn switch, so she just ran to the closet and took a hanger and just, you know, started whooping you behind with the hanger.
Right.
Kashak?
No, the shoe or the extension cord.
The shoe, the extension cord, the various things used to beat your behind, right? To beat your behind. Usually used. Right, if you do it, you know, if you do it, you do. If you don't, you don't. The Bible says, "Spare not the rod."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you beat your kids out, like don't send them to school with whelps all over their damn body because you probably won't get diapers called on you. You understand? Don't have whelps all over their arm and bruises and stuff all over their face. But the Bible says, "Spare not the rod." So you should discipline your children, and if you choose to do so with a belt, it is supported by the Bible, a belt or a belt variant. All right, that is the only way that DIFES or what is it? The state can intervene in the custody of your children. Is if you're doing the abuse or neglect, like you're not feeding them, you're not bathing them, stuff like that. All right, read on. This is supposed to be the only reason the state can intervene, because once you start, you got to understand the dynamic. Once you start allowing the state into your household, meaning you allowing the government to run your family, which is what happened to black people a very long time ago.
Right.
It's just now it's going to affect white families, so now there's news stories on it. You understand? But the government infiltrated our households a long time ago, and yet they blame black people for the state that we're in. They blame us, but when it comes to the state intervening in white households, now there's news stories and there's articles and there's being a solution. Right. But when you were stuck on government cheese and you ain't had no father because they promised your mother money if she kicked them out, there was no articles. There was nobody saying nothing for you. All right. Go ahead, other than Commanding General YAHANNA.
Come.
Right.
This has long been established.
No. Oh, that is the next one. Go ahead.
In our laws, but now transgender ideology is silencing doctors and challenging the way courts define parents' abuse and neglect.
Mm-hmm. So now they changing, like we just discussed, they changing what they determine abuse and neglect is. Go ahead.
Come.
Let this be a lesson too, right? What I found when trying to go back to my short tenure in the truth, just trying to go back to some definitions of words from when I first came into the truth. The white man has changed them already. I haven't been there that damn long. When you go find something that promotes truth and evidence towards the Bible and that Commander General YAHANNA is right, he wastes no time on changing it. He will change the definition of a word in the dictionary. It will change. You'll find it. You'll bring it out as evidence. You'll try to find it again 3 years later, and that same word will have a completely different meaning under it. And you'll be questioning, damn, am I losing it? This word never meant that? But in reality, it does mean that. It does mean what you think it means. It's just that to push his destructive narrative, he's went and ordered the people who make dictionaries to change it. You understand? So let this be a lesson that they will change whatever they deem not useful to them. Whatever's useful for you, they'll change. If you have a book that's promoting truth, that supports the Bible, a historical book that says the Jews were black, that book will be $5,000. So that the average black man can't purchase that book. You understand? Go ahead. But he cannot, there's one thing he can't corrupt, which is the Bible. Go ahead.
Last year in Hawaii, a judge removed a biological girl from her parents' custody after they declined to help her transition to male with testosterone supplements.
Supplements. No, make sure you read it as that's the sentence. Supplements. Period. A judge removed a girl, a little girl. It says biological girl because they're trying to use the terms to help the reader understand, which in itself is sickness. For me to have to tell you a little girl who was determined a girl at birth. You understand? How you determine what you are? Oh, this is his private part.
Right.
That's a boy. Okay, this is her private part. That's a girl. At birth, the doctor doesn't, they call it, he's assigning you your birth. God assigned you your birth. The doctor's not giving you a private part. The doctor's not seeing a baby, just clay. Here's the problem when you worship. Give me Romans chapter 1, verse 25. Here's the problem when you worship the creature, not the creator. When you worship your oppressor and not the God of the entire everything, of the universe, of the earth. Here's the problem. You start to worship the creature and you start to say, well, the doctor assigned him that. The doctor did that. As if the doctor is the potter and you are the clay. And he just, when you came out, he decided, I'm going to make this a boy. I'm going to make this a girl. That decision was made a very long time ago. When was that decision made? If y'all get this, go ahead. Don't let that discourage you. Go ahead. If y'all get this, go ahead.
Talking about men. When God created you.
When God created you. In Genesis, when it said he created man, that means all the souls were created. And when you understand reincarnation, you come back. If you're a man, you come back as a man. If you're black, coming back as black. Understand? I'm not going to pull that scripture unless y'all need it. But in you just go to 1 Corinthians 15 chapter if you want that. All right? You was a man. You was a Simeonite man. You might look different, tall, short, fast, skinny. You will always be what? A Simeonite man. Every time you come back. Your gender was determined a very long time ago. Who the hell is the doctor to assign you anything? And this isn't even the doctor doing this. This is transgender organizations that want that for children, saying, well, the doctor told this young girl she was a girl. How do you know she's a girl just because this one man did it? Because that one man did not decide that it was a girl. The person who created the soul of that little girl decided that this was going to be a girl forever. You understand? Forever. You're going to ruin. Whether she's here, transgenders, their rate of suicide is through the damn roof. So whether she's here for 20 years or 80 years, when she dies and comes back, she'll be a girl again and again and again and again. All you're doing is delaying the inevitable. You understand? You're delaying the inevitable. Eventually, that little girl will grow up to be what? Just a woman, a girl, a woman. You're delaying the inevitable because of your sickness, your mental sickness. And it's a crime we haven't had class the past week, because this is all I've been talking to people about, because you're delaying the inevitable due to your sickness, because you can't handle being sick by yourself. You can't handle being disgusting alone. So you reach out to the world and you think that there's power in numbers. There's power. Look how disgusting I am. Look how disgusting we are. Disgusting people feel better when there's 25 million of them. That's why in the truth, we don't need but so many men. because we are righteous and we can stand with just a few righteous men we have. Read what I want.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 25. Who changed the truth of Yahweh?
Read that again.
Who changed the truth of Yahweh?
Who changed the truth of God? Did the doctor do it? The doctor doesn't have the power to do it. He doesn't have the power to do it. Read on.
Into a lie
Mm-hmm.
and worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
You worshipped and served the creature more than the creator. You thought you were perfect and you were right, and everything that was going on in your mind was just, why would God, the reasons, of course, goes, why would God do this to me if this is not holy? This is not righteous. This is not good. Have you ever thought, just perhaps, you're not good? You blame God, but have you ever thought that you are just not good? You're not a good person. You ever thought of that? It's beyond people. It's beyond our oppressor to believe that I'm a bad person. To him, he's perfect. He's a good person. I'm good at the heart. Look what I do. I give black people government benefits, and I allow your kids to grow up and do whatever the hell they want. I stop you from disciplining them because, you know, it could hurt sometimes. I'm perfect. What's the problem with me? I send nukes on my enemies, and it's in the name of America. I'm good. I just want to see American children grow up. I invade other countries and take their oil because we're just trying to help them become an established society. We're trying to colonize them. We want to help them. I'm a good person. When you just can't see, you're a bad person. You're a bad person. Kashak?
Slugger, sir, if I may, it is amazing how we're having this conversation right now. And last night, you know, I had a studio session with a man who I consider a brother of mine in the world. You know, and you know, we was talking last night, and he going through women problems and life issues, regular stuff. And you know, I started saying some things about the truth, and you know, he was making statements like, you know, suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. And he said, you know, I've never had these thoughts and stuff like that. And I said, I got something that'll change all that, you know. And, you know, I started talking to him about the truth, and I asked him this serious question. I asked him, I said, I got one question for you. If something that you figured was good all your life, that you've done this and you figured it was good because, you know, that's what you were told it was good. But say you found out this one thing that you did was totally wrong, like evil as hell. Would you change it because it's righteous, because you have integrity, or will you continue to do such things
Out of familiar because you've been doing it.
Used to it, or because it's a family tradition?
Did he give you an answer?
He looked at me and he just like, where you going? Where you going with this? Like,
he was afraid to give you an answer because he was afraid of looking like a bad person.
Sir. In his statement earlier in the day, doing like, I'm a good dude, and you know I do what's right.
He's a trying dude. That's what he meant. He meant that I try to
pray when you go rob people.
Yeah,
You're me 20 years ago, so I understand you. I know that prayer before I go rob somebody. I know that prayer, thanking God, quote unquote, that I got away with this jokes or this murder or whatever. I know you. And I think it's hard for people to be around me, or me being around people now, is because I know. And it's like, it's just it's amazing how you're talking about this now, and not just.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a crime we haven't had class for a week. It's a damn crime, man. It's a damn crime because people are bad people. Like you're robbing people and you praying on it. You praying on it. You like, man, please find. I just need a little bit of money to help my kid just get through this day. I'm supposed to have this check coming Friday. Just let me get through it. And then you pray on it, and your solution after praying that you come up with is I'm finna go rob him because that's what came to my mind after praying. The Lord know I'm a good dude. What? The Lord knows you a good dude because you prayed and then robbed somebody. You prayed and then pulled a gun out and told somebody to give me your money. Well, I'm finna just go pray and eat pork. I'm finna go pray and sleep with all the white women because the Lord knows my heart. He know I'm a good dude. Here's what being a good dude gets you: 25 to life. Being a good dude gets you 25 to life. I'm a good dude, man. I'm a good dude. You're not a good dude. That's the problem. You're a bad person. And where would he get that from? Because that's Christianity 101. Christianity 101 is I'm finna pray and go do something. I'm finna pray, God, please save my soul from damnation while I go do something to get me damned. What are you talking about? And we understand that in the context of if you're talking to just somebody on a day-to-day basis, you be like, don't go do something stupid and expect me to save you. Everyone understand that. You understand? Everyone understand that. Don't go over there and start problems with them, and then when they jump, you run to me. Everybody understands that. You see what I'm saying? They'll understand that when you say, don't go rob somebody and then come back like God know I'm a good dude. Because God ain't feeling that the same way you ain't about to go help somebody who's starting problems with everybody. You see what I'm saying? We understand it when it's us, when it's on a us basis. What we fail to understand is the Lord has a masculine spirit. The way you feel when somebody starts trouble and tries to run to you like a problem fixer is the same way the Lord feels when you sin and keep trying to run back to him like, Lord, I'm sorry, man. I'm you know I'm a good dude. No, you're not a good dude. You're a horrible person. You're a bad person. And you get it from Christianity because that is Christianity 101. Do bad things and pray. Or pray before you do bad things. That must be Christianity 2.0. Pray and then go do bad things. Lord, wipe this sin away that I'm finna go do right now. I'm finna go do this right now. That's Christianity 2.0. That's 2.0. And to bring it back to the story, like I said, read 25 again. Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 25.
Bakari, let me into the water.
Who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie?
Get him another water.
Continue, sir.
The water. Come. Who changed the truth of the most high into a lie? Good.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
They said remove a biological girl from her parents' custody after they said, no, we're not going to give you testosterone. This is what I like. Science there's a lot of good with science. There's a lot of BS with science. You know what I'm saying? Some science is good. Some science like, we believe coming up with these testosterone pills for little girls, this is good for them. That's science that's falsely so-called, like it was saying in the Bible. That's not science. That's called sickness. That's called using a laboratory to promote sickness. That's what it is. Read on. And they declined. They said no, and because they said no, because they said this is their child. You understand that? The girl came out of his loins. You understand that? Not the judge, not the doctor, not the fake therapist that came in and said, yes, she should reconfigure. She should close her vagina. And we should take skin from there and other areas and make a fake penis. That is not their child. Nor is that moral. In what wicked world would a little girl be allowed to close? Just realize something. Just a decade ago, they was talking about Africa. Not even a decade out, less than a decade ago, they was talking about Africa for what they was doing to little girls, cutting their clitoris off and stuff like that. You was just shaming Africa for that. You was just shaming it. Oh, it's so horrible what they do to them, how they invade on them invading their privacy, doing things that you shouldn't be allowed to do that. Now that's African culture. That's their culture over there. Their culture is what the hell ever, you know. That's their culture. They went over there and told them your culture is sick. It's sick and it's wrong for you to do that to little girls. Just to come back over here and put a penis on a little girl. The hypocrisy of your oppressor. The hypocrisy. He has no morals. There's no moral standing with your oppressor. You understand? He's a creature that was created by God. And he's not the creature that was supposed to inherit righteousness. He is the creature that punishes us for not being righteous. You understand? That's a big difference. He is not the creature that gives you righteousness. Not even the police force does that, which is why they fail at their job. And every time they pull up on you, it's to kill you. They don't know how to be righteous. They don't know how to enforce righteousness. But they do know how to give your little girl testosterone. All right. Read on. The Cincinnati Children's. Goodbye. That was you. The Cincinnati Children's Gender Clinic. The Cincinnati Children's Gender Clinic. Yeah, that's
The Cincinnati Children's Gender Clinic recommended these treatments for gender
dysphoria.
The condition of being distressed with one's biological sex.
They recommend these treatments for gender dysphoria. Oh, think about the definition of dysphoria. Somebody read that for me. I'll read it for time's sake. A state of unease or generalized, get this, dissatisfaction with life. This says, in quotation, says adolescents with depression, dysphoria, mania, and anxiety disorders. Meaning you're dissatisfied with life. It might cause you to be depressed, have anxiety. This is what you get. See, they think that, here's the disconnect in their head. They're dissatisfied with life. First of all, life ain't about being happy 24/7. You understand? That's what a lot of the LGBT ABC movement comes from. That's where a lot of that traction comes from. A lot of that push is from you supposed to be happy 24/7 in life. You understand? You're supposed to be happy 24/7. That's what they push. And of course, weaklings, weak people hear that and go, that is 100% right. And the reason why I'm not happy is because of all these aggressive men. That is the reason why I'm not happy. Because y'all are aggressive and it makes me feel bad. I feel bad when you're aggressive. I feel scared. I feel uneasy. I'm not satisfied with my life because as a man, you're not aggressive. Of course, this is not referring to anybody in here. As a man, you are not aggressive. This is what this is saying. If you are I'm not aggressive, so all y'all aggressive men make me feel dissatisfied with life. I'm not satisfied with my life because I can't get a woman or my woman cheats on me because I don't want to be aggressive. You understand? I don't want to do that. Like, that's a lot of work. And because it's a lot of work to them brothers, because them brothers cannot stand being aggressive and it makes their life hell, they get dysphoria. Being dysphoria is I'm not happy in life. Well, perhaps you would be happy. Perhaps you would. Perhaps. If you would be a man, if you were a man who was a man, and if you were a woman who was a woman, perhaps you would be happy. Perhaps. Just perhaps if you were at the roles that God assigned for you, if you actually tried that, see women running their mouth and women being loud and being hoes. That's not feminine characteristics. Because women do that doesn't mean that's a womanly thing. Understand the difference. That's a hoe. That is a whore. If you were a woman who was being a woman, if you was a man who was being a man, you're honest, you have integrity. You don't pray to God and go rob people. You understand your situation. You may pray on it, and then you're about to go find an honest and integral solution to your problems. You understand? That's being a man. And that's being a woman, is being obedient, being submissive, being quiet, not getting on the damn world platforms about your what's this damn movement? Feminist, about being a feminist. You wouldn't be up on the damn television about how you support being a feminist. You would be quiet and in the house with your man and teaching other women how to be happy being a woman. There's power in being a woman. We cover this all the time. So much power. That's what you will be doing. But because you're not falling into your role that God assigned you, you have dysphoria. And because you have dysphoria, because you're sick in the head, you're going to blame the people that's not sick in the head for you being sick in the head. And at the same time saying that you're not sick, though. Understand that. You're sick in the head. You're the reason I'm sick in the head. But I'm not sick in the head, though. It's not a sickness what I have. You have to make your mind up. Either you're sick in the head of your own accord, and it's not a sickness, meaning this is just something you just want to do. Either that, or you have an illness. Either this is something you just want to do, and you can't blame, nor can you castrate children, nor can you ostracize, meaning separate strong men, masculine men. You can't do that in society. Or you can say, I have an illness. You understand? You can have your illness over there and be sick over there and not push that on children over there, be sick over there by yourself. Or you can say, I have a sickness and masculine men can help me with this problem. Men of the UPK can help me with this problem. Here's the issue. Sick people need more sick people to feel like they're not sick. So they can't just go into the corner and say, I'm good. I'll be sick, just me and my nasty partner will be sick alone. This type of mental sickness needs more. That's why you have predators. That's why you have predators that prey on children. That's why you have that, because they need to create other people the same way they were created, with this sickness, so that they feel okay. It's not good enough for it to be two of them. It has to be billions of them for them to be strong and feel right. You understand? This is an evil, evil thing that they are doing. This is disgusting. It is immoral. It is not supported by God or the Bible. And a judge this law, his act, aims to remove you from your children. Read on. That's dysphoria. You dissatisfied with life. Now picture this too. Before we continue the story, Salaki, you could be dissatisfied with life because, of a variety of things. There could be an innumerable amount of things that are making you dissatisfied with life. And of course, the solution that you're coming up with in your mind is, let me chop my thing off. There could be 20 different reasons why you get into anxiety or depression or dysphoria. So shouldn't there be other solutions other than chopping your child's private parts off? No one ever thought that maybe this young man, because he didn't have a father, maybe he just, instead of chopping his thing off, perhaps he needs a strong man in his life. Couldn't that also be a solution? This young woman, she's running the streets being a hoe. And then she want to turn into a lesbian because she was being a hoe. And now she wants to put a thing on her. Isn't it possible that she didn't have a strong man to protect her from being a hoe? To prevent all that from happening? That's also possible. But of course, they would never say that because when you have strong men, you have a fixed society. And America is not something that can be fixed. America is broken at the core, which is why it will crumble. Read on. The buyer.
Yeah.
Imagine. Drink some more of that drink you got.
When her parents wanted to treat her with counseling instead, the county prosecutor charged them with abuse and neglect, while transgender activists and pro-trans doctors compared their decision to denying treatment for asthma or even cancer patients.
The transgender said, if you don't let this little boy cut his scrotum off, it is the same thing as you telling somebody with cancer they can't get cancer treatment. You see the rhetoric here? Do you see how they push it that cancer is something that just happens? I can give you a whole science lesson, but everybody's body makes cancer cells. Your body's making cancer cells right now. Here's the difference. Depending on your lifestyle, how you eat, and other factors, and of course the Lord determines whether or not you create enough to develop cancer. But everybody's body makes cancer cells. Cancer cells is a cell that's dying, lack of oxygen. There's so many different things that go into getting cancer. Everybody's making them. Like right now, your body's making them, but it's not making nowhere near enough for you to get cancer. And many healthy cells are coming about. You understand? And these sick cells are being eaten up and things of that nature. Cancer is something that is a real sickness that your body does. You might have eaten too many damn cancerous foods, or you smoke or something like that. That's something that is preventable. Let me say that first. It's preventable with the Lord. But if you get cancer, it's not the same. You didn't make a decision. You didn't say, I'm going to catch cancer today. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go outside and smoke 50 boxes of cigarettes. 50 boxes of cigarettes and drink carcinogenous drinks and eat carcinogenous foods until I get cancer. You didn't say that. So how in the hell is ordering a child to cut their privates off the same as telling somebody with cancer they can't get treatment? I mean, it's like ordering a child that he can't get his privates cut off the same as telling somebody with cancer they can't get treatment. I didn't make a choice to get cancer. I couldn't go to, a masculine man and him mentoring me stops my cancer. You understand? That's not possible. So how the hell could you compare the two? They try to make this this comparison because, of course, cancer is like a trigger word. Cancer is you say cancer, it's like, cancer, cancer. It's like cancer. So you're saying if I don't let my child get it's like my mother died from cancer. It's like I didn't help my mother. And you start to associate it with bad feelings. And you're like, well, I don't want to treat my son bad. I don't want to be a bad person to my son. That's why they're evil. They're going to convince you you're a bad person for not letting your son chop his thing off. That's why they're evil. Give me Romans 1:24. And of course, this is being pushed on men more than women. Why? Why is it being pushed on men more than women? You can read it if you have it. For time's sake, whoever gets it, you just read it. You ask for the mic and you read it. They're pushing this on men more than women because whatever men do, women follow. You understand? Whatever men do, women follow. You look like you portray that you want whores, more and more women become whores to get your attention. You portray you want good women, righteous women, women that can keep a house. You get more women in the world that will want to learn how to keep a house, want to learn how to shut up. if that's what you portray you like. You understand? The world follows what men do. Despite everything you see on TV, the world will follow what men do. That's why the entire agenda is to get you to do other things. Because the woman is always going to do whatever you like. You think the agenda is to, make your woman loudmouth and stuff like that. The real agenda is to get you to desire that woman. Because if she can't get no sex, you think she can keep being like that? Honestly. And if you even got to think about that, a little more training. She's not going to be like that. If no man, no real man that know how to lay it down in the bed wants her, she's not going to be like that. You understand? She's not. She's going to realize like nobody's talking to her. She walks down the street in that little skirt and nobody's looking at her. You understand? Nobody is paying her any attention or showing her any of the kind gestures they're showing this woman who was covered up but still beautiful. And she's going to start to wonder, should she be more like that? And of course, the answer is going to be yes, because she's going to want the attention that comes from looking like that. Here's the problem. You have to be a certain way. So the agenda is on you, black man. The agenda is on you to make you as palatable, meaning as much as America wants. Just mushy. You understand? Just mushy, there's no backbone. There's nothing there. There's nothing. Just be like that. Be unable to give an order. Be unable to tell a woman no. Be unable to tell your child, no, you can't cut your thing off. And when they reach a road like that, we're going to get into the scripture soon. I don't want to ramble too much. When you get into a road like that, even soft men will be like, hold up. You want me to cut my child what off? So what do? Make a law. The entire agenda is on you to push you as far into what they want. First was get you out the house. There's no way we was changing him, get him out the house. Now that you want back in your house and they already gave him all the power, is okay, we can push them into being like this because they want to be back in the house now. Go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 24. Mm-hmm. Wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness.
Wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness. I'll start from 23. Matter of fact, read on.
So, come on, sir.
Hold
the lust.
Hold on 1 second. Shalakia. Do start from 23.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Romans, chapter 23. Chapter 1, verse 23. And change the glory of the uncorruptible Yahweh into an image made like to corruptible man. Mm. And to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things.
Meaning you regard God as much as you regard an insect. In America, you see an ant, what do? You step on it. Like, come on. It's a fly in your house. What you do? You get a damn fly swatter. Like, come on. That's how much we regard God in America. God. Whatever, bro. Whatever. I have dysphoria. God dissatisfies me. We can't talk about God in here. You can't do that. It dissatisfies me. Go ahead.
24. Wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves.
Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, which is your mind, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. You chop your penis off because you don't think of God. It's really that simple. All the breaking that we just did really amounts to that. You don't have God in your mind. You don't think, when you're doing this, you don't think what would God want. Because once you bring up God, they'll say, there's so many fake questions about God. What would God say? How do you know he approves of it? Well, how do you know God is a he? How do you know he's a he? How do we know he's real? How do we know the Bible is real? Or here's the other one where they'll say they believe in him, but they believe in him in a different way than you. My God supports that. So who the hell is your God? Because you can't read your God can't be in the Bible. It can't be. Is your God that white Jesus on the wall? Because he does agree with it, because there's one of him in the White House right now signing all this crap in the law. So yes, that guy does. He does. Your God, Joe Biden, excuse me, Caesar Borgia, excuse me, white Jesus. Your God does approve of everything you do with the transgender reassignment surgery. He 100% does. That is correct. Because your God is not the God of the Bible. Your God is the God that you vote for and put in office. That's your God. So yes, he does agree with you. Read on. That was the end of that verse.
Come on, sir. Scripture, go back to the.
Now you can go back to the. Matter of fact, give me one more scripture. Give me. Matter of fact, drop down to 26.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 26. For this cause Yahweh gave them up unto vile
affections.
Vile affections.
Vile affection, meaning you like disgusting stuff. And affection is, I like you, affection towards you. Vile is disgusting. You like disgusting stuff. To be born with, a penis and to have that for 12, 13 years of your life and to chop it off is disgusting. You understand? It's disgusting. And it's like, I believe that's something even in Israel that you couldn't even be around the people. Like if you went to war and somebody, like you had to shoot yourself to the left. That's disgusting. You like disgusting stuff. Yeah.
So if I may, so we watch movies, and if man get kicked in that, you wince just mentally, because it's like you understand.
It's like, oh, that hurt. Now imagine somebody just saying, "Would you like to cut it off?" Come on. Somebody wants to make your daughter a Ken doll. Somebody wants to make your daughter a Ken doll that has no private parts, and then what they want to do after that is put a makeshift rod on her. But this is, of course, not mental sickness. Of course, because science is so advanced, this can't be a mental sickness. But of course, the United States, 30s, am I thinking? The 30s, the 50s? Almost this. What's the words we could use for YouTube? This community, this alphabetic community was declared a mental illness in the United States up until like the 1950s. Meaning if you said you was this, they was trying to send you to an institution. Like you what? Call the chief police. Call chief police. And they was coming to put you in a mental institution. But I have, try to give you God's help or something, bringing a priest or something. Because even then, up until that point, even this horrible country realized you're sick. You're sick. I think the body had a question first.
Do you mean that this movement been going on since?
This movement is, I can't say new, right? So this movement has been here, Sodom and Gomorrah. This movement has been here.
But I know the agenda been going on, but that
talking about here. It's relatively new here. America's been a country about 250 years. 1776. 250 years, about 250 years. This is about 100. not new, but it's not. This wasn't always here. You understand? Because they knew that this is how Rome fell. You understand that? They know that this is how Rome fell. Men going to war, talking about some. I don't want to say it. They go into war, and they say sleeping with your war buddy. It allows me to protect him better because now I love him for real.
Sloppy, that was the Germans, sir.
As the Germans, Rome did it too.
Rome did it as well.
Yeah, it allows me to love. It allows me to love him better and protect him in the field better. That sounds like an episode of the Boondocks. That sounds like Gangstalicious, like that's not, they don't understand. Here's the problem, because they read the Bible. This is why white people had to come up with the breakdown that everybody else has for David and Jonathan. That's how they had to come up with that. You can't understand the difference between a love for a woman and loving your brother. You think all love means you want to get into bed with somebody. That's your oppressor. That's your oppressor. That's because when he says he loves you, he's usually about to F you over. Go ahead.
Slide here, sir, if I may. Like you said, the agenda is, I believe, early 50s. Before that, they would burn people if they found out you was gay or Slovakia.
If they found out you was
community of letters, they would burn you. They will castrate you. They were it was different things that they did
because they were loosely trying to follow the Bible.
Come on, sir. And they would put you in the hospital, mental hospital, and put you in the rubber room. This is before pre-50s.
They couldn't have you spreading your sickness, so they isolated you like how they tell you COVID isolate for 14 days. They isolated you.
At one time, they said give them their own island. It was give them their own states.
Yes,
making that a probability. And something after that fell apart.
Yeah.
But the thing what you were saying about the soldiers sleeping with their soldiers, Romans, some more Germans, recent Germans, wars,
of course,
pre-50s, after 50s, German wars. Also, right, German wars, and then the French as well. So,
and what are they all? White people. Like this is what they do. This is what they do. Sodom and Gomorrah was a city of Africans, but then the white man got a hold of that and he took it to a new level. He said, "We ain't just gonna be a city of the letters. We're gonna be a nation of letters. We're gonna have the entire German nation, the French nation, just the soldiers, the entire military, the people who are."
Also, that isn't that where Valentine's Day started from? That very same. How do you say it?
There's a couple of
not saying, but from the person who started it all is. No, he's right.
Go ahead.
No, but where it come from, the whole Valentine's Day thing is from a lover, a war, a soldier who was in a war who lost his man in the war. That's the whole Valentine thing.
There's a couple of origin stories. You may be correct. I think I remember General Muhammad bringing that out. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. There's a holiday started behind it. You see what I'm saying? And they have you believe this is the day you should shower your woman with gifts, despite the hoe she is. That's what the whole thing is it's this. That's the community's holiday. That's their holiday. They started it, and that's why you're gifting hoes presents on the 14th of February. You understand? Because that's their holiday. They started it. It's just to make you weaker. Instead of getting her in line, you give her gifts. All right. You understand? Read on in 26.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 26, chapter 1, verse 26, middle of the verse. For even their woman did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
This is exactly why it's not a sin for a woman to play basketball or football, nothing like that. But Paul says something profound in 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, or 2 Corinthians, the 10th chapter. He said, everything is lawful, but not expedient for me. Meaning there might be something that I can lawfully do that I probably shouldn't do, though. You see what I'm saying? I probably shouldn't do. I can go to a house party, right? I'm not the one smoking. I'm not going to sit there and be around people that's smoking. I'm not the one carrying illegal firearms. But I can go. Why would you put yourself in that situation? Why would you be in a house party with people from the world who are drunk and high and have problems with each other, and they get drunk and high with each other, and those problems come out, and people have firearms? Well, why are you doing that to yourself? Doing it to yourself. Why are you doing that? Everything is lawful, but it might not be the wisest thing for me to go do. Meaning I stay in the law. But even when staying in the law, I maneuver wisely. You understand?
Right.
This is like a woman. You can play football and all that if you so choose. But women play football because they like somebody on the team. So they start tossing around the football. I know tons of Tom girls growing up who got into sports because they liked the boys playing the sports. But the boys playing the sports wasn't paying her no attention. So what she started doing? Playing the sport. Still wasn't getting the attention. Got more into the boyish role. All right, she just wanted attention from a guy. Now you say that nowadays, I just genuinely want to bounce a ball. Bounce the ball then. Go ahead and bounce the goddamn ball. Don't let me stop you out. But do let the thousands of stories that come out the WNBA about rape and lesbian pressure coming out from straight women who bounce that ball say to other players, if you're not lesbian, they make fun of you and they basically kick you out of the social group. Yes. They want to touch you. They want to feel you. They're gay. So that's what they are. And they, in the shower, they want to, there's stories from the WNBA about that. You should let that stop you. Good.
So basically, in entertainment, sports, in the world in general, they do stuff in an alphabetical way.
Yes.
Okay.
They do. They that's what they do. They do stuff like that. And if you're not like that, they'll make fun of you until you become like that, or they make you seem like you're the problem for not being like that. That's what happens. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? But women don't. They change what they say. They say they change their natural use into that which is against nature. It's not against nature for you to bounce a ball, but I'm just saying you're softer than that. So I can say it's not natural for you to want to be rough and tough. Have y'all seen the Women's Football League? It's called the LFL, the Lingerie Football League. They run it around in thongs and bras with a helmet and only shoulder pads, no knee pads, no. And they hitting each other and they throwing the ball and touchdowns and trying to play the game. They ain't doing it. They trying to play the game. Where do all their ratings come from? For women who ain't doing it for attention, where all their ratings come from? Yeah, horny men who want to see you running up and down the field with your cheeks hanging out, talking about you playing football. It's like being at the beach, but instead it's on your TV. You understand? Like women do everything for attention. everything. Everything. So how about instead of going against nature, how about acknowledging and loving the fact that you are a soft person? You're a soft, you were made to be soft. That's what you were made to do. You were made to be huggable. That's what you were made to do. You were made to be pleasant to be around. People don't always want to be around a masculine man. Who cares? Nobody gives a damn. Why? We're the men. You're supposed to be soft and huggable and pleasurable. And, that's your role. So instead of hating your role and then claiming you have dysphoria, I don't know why I hate my life. I know it's because y'all don't support me being a man. Instead of saying that, instead of blaming us for something we didn't do, why don't you just go back to being a soft woman? Remember when you was happy 13 and 14 before Ray broke your heart and you turned lesbian? Remember that? Why don't you go back to being soft and stop letting everybody get inside your cookie jar? Maybe you wouldn't feel like you got to go be a lesbian. We understand you ain't got a father, but now you have fathers in the UPK. How about you go back to being soft? Go back to doing that. And I guarantee you that dysphoria, that dissatisfaction with life, if you're in this kitchen making sandwiches and you're learning how to sew and knit, and you have children and you have babies who you're feeding and you're loving and you're caring on, you're dressing up, don't take that the wrong way. Meaning you putting clothes on them. That's all that means. You putting clothes on the baby. I guarantee that dysphoria leaves. You're going to be satisfied with life because you're in the natural role of a woman. The last thing I'm going to say is I can't tell you how many lesbians that got pregnant in the ghetto. Because you're not a lesbian, nor are you. And so let me not say lesbians, because that might be too common for people. Bulldaggers, bikes, tough women who go outside with a tank top, with a wife beat on, sagging with boxers, and they'll fight you in the street, getting pregnant. How they doing that? They bulldaggers. How's that happening? Because you are not a man. You're not a tough person. You know what you are. You want to fight against it and then blame everybody else for you fighting against it. Just be the woman that God made you. As a man, be the man that God made you. And I'm saying this from a standpoint of trying to help you dysphoria. I don't want you to be dissatisfied with life. Life ain't about being happy 24/7, but you should also enjoy life. You should enjoy. You should have a happy life. You're just not going to get it with gender reassignment surgery. Because as we about to get into, one of the top countries for transgenders, meaning you go there and you're transgender, they love you. It's open arms. Everybody loves them there. They're going to bring out their suicide rate numbers. Yeah. And it ain't nice. It ain't pretty. Because your dysphoria does not go away when you top off your ride. Read 27, and then we're going to get back into the story.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Romans chapter 1, verse 27. And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was
meat. Meaning when you judged for being a part of that letter community, it's a good thing. Meat means good. That recompense, that judgment, that get back from the Most High is good. It's good that I'm gonna take the video down. It's good. Whatever happens to you for being in that community, that community is the cause of something that's happening to you. Good. That's from God. That's not from me. The Bible just said that recompense of their error, which was meat. It is good for you to go through bad things for chopping off your rod. It's good. It's very good. Go back into the story. Give me when her parents wanted to treat her.
Start from the top of that.
Yeah, when her parents wanted to treat her.
Sir. When her parents wanted to treat her with counseling instead, the county prosecutor charged them with abuse and neglect.
When I don't want to give her testosterone pills. I just want to, you know what? She need counseling. She need help. Because obviously she has both parents, but man must have been a teddy bear. When I mean a teddy bear, I don't mean huggable. I mean, he was a pushover. He was soft. He was horrible. He wasn't a man. It was like we just discussed. Right? He was not a man. Go ahead. So he's seeking out counseling. Maybe this counselor can do for my child what I can't. This is not because her choice was already made and he just couldn't help her. He couldn't help her because he wasn't a man. All right. He wasn't a real man, so he couldn't help her. And this is what they're gonna. Somebody will see this video that supports this whole thing and will say, "See, now he's not man. You want him to be toxically masculine, 100%, 100%. You need to be a cult leader. You need to be toxically. When he walk in the room, the fumes should enrage every feminist. His fumes. He should walk in the room and everybody should toxicity just walked in. That's how you should be." 100%. Because this world, what they view as toxic, growing up in the ghetto, I know all the young guys got skinny jeans on and stuff like that now. And I know the ghetto ain't righteous. But growing up in the ghetto, not today, I think that ended around the time I grew up in the ghetto. But growing up in the ghetto before, every generation it gets worse. So as we keep having children, my grandfather, my father has that like that. It gets worse and worse and worse. I'm not saying the ghetto in America was ever righteous, but it continuously gets worse. There was Stan, drink more of that what you got in that cup. It gets worse. Every generation it gets worse. Before you grow up in the ghetto, you soft, you weak as a man child. You get made fun of. You like to hang with the girls all the time, not play basketball with the boys. That ain't because you get girls neither. Like, let's not go there. We ain't gonna get in all that. But it wasn't because he was the ladies' man. It was at that age. It's because he was soft. He couldn't hang with the men. You got made fun of and ostracized. They didn't want to be around you. You got made fun of. That's what happened. That's just what happened. You understand? And the boy would either go full on letters or sometime around puberty, which I know somebody's happened to. He stopped doing that. He stopped going around the girls so much for no, like, why are you always with them? What are they talking about that interests you? He would come around the boys. He wanted to play ball now. And he wanted to talk about masculine things. You understand? He wanted to do things that young men do. That was the ghetto. That's just how the ghetto was. That's just what it is. Now, counseling. Now you need you what? You like being around a girl? Send him to counseling right now. I'm taking a child. He want to be around the girls, and you as a father told him he need to go play with the boys. Send him to counseling or I'm taking your child. Now, and understand this has been going on. When they send your son to behavior management, he has a problem. Open up, talk about your feelings. It's okay to have emotions. I ain't saying you can't have emotions. You can't have the emotions they tell you that. You can't have it the way they're telling you to have it. No, it's not. I'm 100% about to tell you right now, it's not acceptable. That's 100% correct to God. To God, having the emotions the way they tell you to have those damn emotions is not acceptable. It's not. You want anger? I got you. You want anger and you want to be angry at stuff, sad sometimes you cry about some stuff. Those are emotions. That's fine. The way you want to express them because you want to hang around the girls all the time or whatever the hell is going on, that's acceptable. That's not acceptable. You understand? It's not okay. I just want to wear the tight pants because the rappers is wearing it. My daddy won't let me. It's so sir. And here's I'm so serious about real. This is real stuff. This might sound like you playing. He's mentioning rappers. No, your child will say that, and the therapist will call you in the room, and the therapist will do one of these right here. So, sir, what about your own masculinity are you struggling with that has you projecting it on your child? And we'll sit there with the face like she's ready to understand and listen and help you, but you don't have a problem. That's the issue. Young black men go to therapy and do not have a problem. You don't have a problem. You know what your problem is? Your problem is there's not enough masculinity around you. That's the problem. You get angry sometimes. Everyone gets angry, but because you're a child, you can't get angry. You don't have a problem. You're a male child. You're a man child. You know what happens when they get a little too angry? You send them to their father. You call the father. Oh, you can't do that because you're kicking them out the damn house. I forgot. So now the therapist is daddy. Now the therapist is daddy, and you wondering why. I can't stand this. I really cannot stand when you're talking to somebody and they want to pretend like they're better than you, so they hit you with the No, yeah, I'm listening. So you believe, don't do that. Don't, that is the most passive aggressive feminine bull. That I'm listening. Do not send young black men to no goddamn therapist because they masculine. Well, he keeps having fights. Well, let's evaluate what's happening. Is someone picking on you? Are you starting these fights? You know you can't be a bully. Like, how about you just address that problem and stop trying to make it he's a man problem. He's masculine. Stop saying the problem is he's masculine. And how about the problem is, well, maybe he's getting bullied. Or maybe we just got to teach him that he can't be a bully. The problem is the therapist can't do that. The daddy can. And there's no daddies in the house. That's why Commander Johnny Hanna has continuously said you don't need no black man in the White House. You need a black man in every black household. Right. He's the damn counselor. He's the goddamn therapist. No one else is qualified to be a therapist for a young black man other than a grown black man. You understand me? That is the only person on earth that is authorized to counsel a young black man. It is a grown black man. That is it. When you remove him out the house and you replace him with a therapist, you have him asking for estrogen pills. Because the therapist is going to say, I just allowed him to be himself. Well, in the truth, as an Israelite, when we're going to rule this earth again. So as the future leaders of this earth, I am here to tell you, you cannot be yourself. Is that clear enough? You can't be yourself. You have to be better. Is that the demon you have in your head? Fine. I can't say it's not, but I will tell you it's unacceptable. That's what I will tell you. I will tell you that you will be better than that. I'll tell you that. You understand? Go back into that story.
Come on, sir.
Oh, you have something to say, Gab?
Come on, sir. It's always
so. If I could get a cup to buy, I just want to drink some of this wine right here.
It's always, amazing to me how we pay it off as just black people issues, or when you bring up things and it's like you just, as they say, you're prophesizing, or so to speak. But it's a young man, it's a brother that's part of the school that his son, they same situation that you're explaining right now, sir, and he pushed him to a counselor, big brother, quote unquote.
the buddy system thing where a young one gets an older one, and that older one was already counseled by a counselor. Like it's a program to where that young child will eventually become somebody else's big brother in the future. Go ahead, I got you. Because they tried to put me in that crap. Good.
That brother is distraught and broken right now because not too long ago, that brother father passed away, and you know, first time he got to see his son in a long while. But they let the counselor raise him. And you know what he told his father the other day? You know, just recently, his father, first time seeing him in years, he said, "What's going on? What are you doing with yourself? You're in college now. You have a girlfriend." And his son looked him in the face and said, "Dad, I like men the way you like women." What? This is a brother who is fighting to be in the truth and trying to figure it out and understanding what he know. And he looked at his son and said,
I think I remember you telling me this. What's his name? What's his name?
Karash.
Yeah.
He looked his son in the face and said,
It's like I can't say it the way I want to say it, but you're disowned.
And all his family, all the family members, all the family
Of course.
members. "Oh, what are you doing? Don't say that. What are you talking about? I did not raise that boy to be a girl. What are you talking about? Don't say that.
He's not a girl.
He's running around here sucking penis. What are you talking about? He's a boy. This is my son, came from me. What are you talking about?" Now the family disowns him. It's sickening because you're fighting with the sickness. And this is your family. And then they look at me, "Help your cousin." No, y'all need help. I'm on his side.
I will help him. I help him.
I'm on his side. Y'all mad?
I'm trying to tell
Be
you.
mad at me too, because I'm helping him. I'm on his side. And they angry. It's sickness, sir.
It's a sickness. It's a sickness. It is sickness. It's ill. It's ill. All right, don't let him go to therapy. Was he the big brother in the situation? The son. Was the son the big brother, or was the son the little brother?
The son was the little brother.
And then what I would want to find out is what the hell was the big brother doing with it?
Sir.
You see that's the next progression.
Nobody had that. That's the one thing he said. When did it happen? Why? Why is it happening? But no, he said that counselor, right?
Yeah, that's that big brother. That's that big brother, because people you don't have in the world, you don't really have big brothers. You know what a big brother's there to do? A big brother's there is he went through stuff and he did that already and go. A little brother, he like, "Hey man, don't do that. Don't do that. Do this. Don't do that. Do this." A big brother, when a father not there, the big brother enforces everything the father would enforce. You understand? He enforces everything the father would enforce, and of course, it's do this, do that, do this. But in the world, he wasn't a big brother. He was that's more than likely his predator. That's more than likely where it comes from. In that buddy program, big brother, little brother, don't send that. Don't do that neither, because the boys. I know this wasn't the Boy Scouts, but this is the same goddamn thing. The Boy Scouts got billions. I just read this like 2 weeks ago. I wish I had the news story. I wish I had this like 2-3 weeks ago. I just read it. Billions of dollars in lawsuits right now. And guess what? It's in a city. Sorry, not billions. It's millions. It's because it's in one city I'm talking about. And guess what they did? They're asking taxpayers. Although I care about this whole tax argument, I don't give a damn. I don't care. They're asking the citizens in that state to pay their fees. We got $500,000 in lawsuits against us. We want y'all to pay. And this is, of course, what lawsuits am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about molestation. Of course. Y'all pay it. Because y'all sent your kids in. Y'all pay it. I almost lost my damn mind reading that story. I said, how in what world does that seem correct to you? Of course, this is just Tuesday on Earth, though. This is Tuesday. Yes, pay me for molesting you. So like I did you a service. I did you a service.
These Edomites is crazy.
And this is just Tuesday. This is Tuesday in America. You understand? This is like Tuesday. Get it?
If I may. Because I know we're not supposed to abhor the Edomite. So
You ain't abhorring nothing.
no, I'm saying
Good.
in dealing with the oppressor in any way, shape, or fashion, there's no righteous way to deal with them without aborting them, correct?
No, that's a lie. So you can deal with them, meaning like you can do business with them and stuff like that, and perfectly fine. Abhor, like you ain't physically doing nothing to them, nor are you even hating them. If they didn't do nothing and God didn't say we're going to pay him back, we wouldn't care. You understand? God said, be that in Romans 9:13. I'm about to love pulling this because Lord knows I ain't pulled this since woo. Yeah, Romans 9:13. I ain't pulled this since like 4 years ago in the corner. I don't even touch this damn scripture.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9.
9:13.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Don't nobody in the UPK hate the oppressor because we just woke up one morning like, oh man, I can't stand him for being pale. No one cares. If he was purple, it'd be the same. If he was green, it'd be the same. This is not a color thing. This is you commit crimes. You remove me out of my house and then replace me with a big brother who would cause my son to go and do unthinkable acts that God does not agree with.
Right.
This is you commit crimes. This is what this is. And it's not, you don't even abhor him because if that's the case, everyone on earth abhors him. No one can stand him. Do you understand that? No one can stand him. China got new COVID tests where they swab your booty. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. Woo. It's a lie. It's a lie. China got new COVID tests. China got new COVID tests, but that's what they do to you. And they stopped doing it, right? They did it for like a week and then they stopped. But guess who they kept doing it to? That's what they kept doing it to. The incoming Americans from flights. China hates them. That's not, we believe this worked because they stopped it for everybody else. They kept doing it to Americans coming in China. They can't stand them. And nobody is saying, the Chinese, you shouldn't hate them, man. No one is saying that because he went over there and raped pilgrims and said he was colonizing, and no one says that to them. Africa is over gun wars with the white. Come on. Full out AKs, assault rifles, shooting up white people. No one is saying they abhor them. The Arabs, bombs to the chest, running up, Allahu Akbar, boom. No one is saying you hate him. You're saying they kind of did ruin your entire life for generations. It's kind of understandable. Africa, it's kind of understandable. China, it's kind of understandable. Black man, you hate me. You hate him. That's not. Come on. Did he not do to you what he did to all those other countries times 3? Come on. Go ahead. That's what I said times 3. Like he did it times 3. Like he didn't just do it what he did to them. He made sure he ramped it up because he hates you that much. Now, because you calling him out on what he does, you hate him. No, I'm a truth teller. I tell the truth. I'm an honest man. I look at a situation and say, well, hold on, you're a criminal. Well, hold on, you ain't righteous. Well, hold on, you out here telling young men to go to counseling where the counselor is telling a little boy to be a part of the letters group. Because you know his father would never say that, so you kick the father out the house. Please, man. Please. And meanwhile, there's women running around talking about some no, there's women running around talking about they need a strong man, but you want me to convince him to be in the letters group. No, I'm going to teach you the top fire. No. There's beautiful black women running around here needing men. No, I'm not about to teach him to cut it off. I'm about to tell him to birth a nation. Like that damn movie, Birth a Nation. Have 30 kids. What are you talking about? I'm about to teach him to cut it off? No. That's the real problem. There's too many of us here. That's the real problem. You see what they did to our Mexican brothers? We talked about Trump putting them in cages. Oh, it was horrible. Then Biden puts them in cages. Well, it's understandable. I mean, are you serious? Biden put them in cages the same way Trump did. A white man is a white man is a white man on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and the rest of the days of the week. He is always going to be a white man. He was always going to do what he does. It's just too many of us, and they can't stand you being masculine. How dare this man with braids, boots, beard, all black? How dare that man? How dare he come in here, come in my country that we brought him here, but how dare he stay here and have children? How dare he do that? You're going to have children in my country? You're going to raise your children to be just like you? No, that's what happened. You was too much of a man in America. That's a crime. You know that, right? It's a damn crime. You too much of a man in America. We got to get you the hell up out of here. Get him out of here. He's a man. We can't have that. It's unacceptable. We can only have pushovers in women. We can't have men. Read on in the story. I got to get to these numbers. Oh, crack two of them windows for me, Bakari. Preferably this one right here by me and the middle one.
Okay, sir. We were middle of the paragraph. This is while transgender activists and pro-trans doctors compared their decision to denying treatment for asthma or even cancer patients.
Yeah, right. Read the next one.
That all happened without federal legislation.
This is before anything got signed into law. Without federal legislation, meaning this all happened with no law saying that the judge could do this, but the judge did it. Now they're trying to make it so that there's a law, meaning what? It's going to affect you disproportionately. You're going to be the one this law gets used on. Drop down to where it says turning the law into a sword against doctors. Whoever wrote this damn story, if you were brother, you come into the damn school, because he wrote this with contempt for these people. Contempt. Go ahead. Give me a napkin too up so I can wipe my face. Juan got a brother sweating.
Stop here, sir. You said take it from where?
Where it says turning the law into a sword against doctors. It's just a little bit down. It should be bold, all bold.
Come on, sir. Turning the law into a sword against doctors.
I don't need the whole rule. I'm just taking
the transgender movement wants to dominate the field of medicine. It says to do so, it is threatening doctors and hospitals with penalties. Mm-hmm. Some states have already passed laws similar to Pelosi's Equality Act. Mm-hmm. In New Jersey.
And where? Oh. And where? And where, Rock? And where? Read that one more time, Mark. Read that one more time, Mark.
It says some states have already passed laws similar to Pelosi's Equality Act.
And how is this equality? What is equal? One second. What is equal about a child having the ability to override his parents. What power do you have as a parent? See, as a parent, as a real parent, not as a stepping stool for them to get to the next transgender level. As a real parent, you just have to support them with whatever they do. You decide to do this, support. You want to shoot a school up, support. You want to cut your rod off, support. Just support. Support. Go ahead.
Sloppy, sir.
New Jersey in California.
In New Jersey, in California, transgender activists have sued Catholic hospitals for discrimination.
For what? For what?
Discrimination.
For discrimination. Go ahead.
On the base of gender identity because they wouldn't perform sex change surgeries for patients with gender dysphoria.
Again, dysphoria means I'm not satisfied. I'm a man and I don't like it. I'm a man. Hear me clear. I'm a man and I don't like it. Now, of course, when you get down to the root of why these people don't like being a man, there's not even why don't you like being a man? I just feel like I was born in a different body. I was born in the wrong body. You don't like being a man because women don't like you because you're soft. Men can't stand to be around you because you're soft. No one respects you because you're soft. Your boss, your job don't respect you because you're soft. So because you're so soft, you just go ahead and fall all the way into the opposite role. That's what it is. I'm going to fall into the opposite role because I just can't stand being a man. I can't stand someone telling me man up. Gird your loins. I can't stand that. I can't stand having expectations to do something great. I can't stand that. I just rather chop me off. I just rather chop me off one and become a woman. But
Shalaki, if I may, sir. When I was in the world, about years ago, I'm 42 now. So in my teenage years, I was, partying, clubbing and stuff, and being a man and being into all the, and then I learned how, because I played in New York a lot, so I learned how to know if I'm in a club with a woman or if I'm in a club with a man. You understand what I'm saying, sir? And that was a rare thing in New York. It was, we talking about 20, 30 years ago, 25 years ago.
I'm gonna have to hit you with one better. It wasn't rare in New York 20, 30 years ago.
No, it wasn't rare.
They was regulated or relegated to a certain section of New York, Greenwich Village, and
right. Yeah. So it wasn't.
You wouldn't catch them in too many places. Outside of their places.
You wouldn't catch them at Coca Cabana. You wouldn't catch them at
right. I got you. Yeah.
So it was like that. So I came home from prison this time, and I walk in the streets, Jersey City. I'm home. This home.
You thought it was home. Go ahead.
And girl coming down the street, but I'm looking and I'm like,
we thought it was a girl.
I had to look twice, sir. I never had to look. When I look twice, I'm looking because
you look twice because you look and then you go, wait, hold on. Why you look like that?
Yeah. It wasn't before. It wasn't the look twice because it was a beautiful woman. I had to look twice because I had to.
Because you wanted to make you. It was confusion.
Sir.
Good.
I'm looking and I'm like, wait a minute.
Ain't nothing.
And I'm out of my business because it's none of my business. It's the truth. So I'm looking and I'm like, and it was is a group of them in Jersey City. Yeah. That got full, like they got cut off and they got boobs and stuff. And I'm looking, I said, wait a minute, because that don't. So time passed on. And come to find out, it was niggas in the hood dealing with them. So-called gangsters and big homies and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all can't tell me y'all don't know that's
Yeah.
y'all can't tell me
You
y'all
know,
don't
being
know
a
that's
gangster,
important.
being a gangster don't make you a man. You know that, right?
Sir, you know what I know.
No, I know you know that. That's not a real question. I'm
Sir.
saying that for the general,
Con.
in general public, being a gangster don't make you a man.
Right.
There's gay gangsters in Atlanta. You know, there's gay gangs in Atlanta where they'll put a gun in your head. They'll put a gun in your head. Salaki, one second. They'll put a gun in your head and they'll put you on your knees, and you better do your due diligence for them. I've seen the picture and got a young woman that took a picture of it. So you telling me y'all don't want to go be with her? You want him doing that while she take the picture? Cool. Yeah, this is regular, right?
Now
this is always regular on the earth, because since Sodom and Gomorrah, it's regular. It's just you go through periods, or you might live in the area. It's like I said, growing up in the hood, when you see it, you don't expect it. You like some people think white people in the hood is regular. Me growing up in the hood, I found out one of my best homies was white. I kicked him out. I ain't know his daddy was white. His mother was black. And I had no clue about the truth at that point. But I'm like, it makes sense why you be acting like this, bro. Like, why you be... And I kicked him out. I chased him out. Some people say it's regular, because in some ghettos, it's regular to have them there. This is what I'm saying. In the earth, it's everywhere. Whether it's in your section or not, it's everywhere. It's a problem. It's an epidemic. You want to quarantine because of COVID. COVID pop up and everybody, oh my goodness. What about this? What about this epidemic? Is there a vaccine for this? It's called the Bible. Is there a vaccine for this? There's a vaccine for this. You understand? This is the real pandemic. You want to talk about a goddamn pandemic? I don't want to talk about no damn pandemic. COVID kills who was supposed to kill. So lock you. You get it? Go to the hospital, get treated by the doctors, keep your visits, quarantine, do whatever them doctors tell you to do. But this is the pandemic. This right here. This is the problem. This is the real crisis on earth.
Right.
It's this. When you wake up in the morning and your son got lipstick on, and if you beat him, they call the cops on you. But if you don't beat him, he's going to go with the letters group. That's the real pandemic. Read Pelosi's bill. I got to get a couple of things out of this story before we get out of here. It's like a couple paragraphs down. I really want to read all of it. I might do this another day too, or do a video on it separate. Pelosi's bill
would add sexual orientation and gender identity to the 1964 Civil Rights Act.
So you marched. Here's what you marched for. You thought you was marching with Orgy Mike. You thought you was You thought you was marching with Martin Luther King for rights. I want to vote. I want to go into a bar with white people. I want to go into a pool with white people. You thought that's what you was marching for, right? I understand. Here's the truth. You marched for him so that in the future, you and all here you go. You and all your masculinity taking the beatings from the cops and going to jail, dogs biting you, tear you limb from limb, water getting sprayed at you, pounds of pressure of water, knocking you yards back, thrown into the police cruiser, beaten half to death. You did all that so your son and your grandson and your great-grandson could chop their thing off. You thought you were doing it for voting, but that voting done put people in power that's about to allow your son to chop his thing off. Pelosi's bills getting added to the Civil Rights Act. You understand? It's getting added. This is the problem when you lump together blackness and I want to say the word, but like, damn, blackness and that community. This is what you get when you combine them. Oh, their problem is the same as slavery. It's not. It's not. That community did not go through slavery. They're oppressed like you was oppressed in slavery. That's not true. Not true. See, when we were slaves, we didn't have nobody freeing us. We were freeing ourselves, running through tunnels with Harriet Tubman. They don't go through that. They get presidents to sign bills into law. They don't go through slavery. Last I checked, they don't get eaten by alligators. They don't get their backs whipped. They don't get raped. As a matter of fact, they do get raped and they become that. Come on. Come on. Drop down to the American Psychology Association.
The American
Psychological.
The American Psychological Association Manual of Mental Disorder classifies gender dysphoria as a mental illness. Research shows that 75 to 95% of children with gender dysphoria
Without. Oh, no, my fault. No, you're right.
Gender dysphoria who go through puberty without any transgender treatments actually become comfortable with their bodies.
75 to 95% of people who go through gender dysphoria. I don't like being a man. I don't like being a woman. 75 to 95% of them do what? Become
comfortable with their bodies.
They actually wound up saying, you know what? I do like being a man. I do like being a woman. 75 to 95% of people given the chance say, I'm actually happy with being a man or a woman, whichever they are, whichever they actually are.
Right.
I'm happy with that. This is what happens when somebody actually disciplines a child. Stop letting your kids, your son play with the damn Barbies, talking about something. It's just toys. Stop. Don't do that. It's just toys. It's not just toys. It's not. Stop letting you got your daughter outside with the little boys playing football. Why they just tossing the football? Stop. She tossing the football. He could be teaching her how to sweep, how to mop. Why she outside playing football? Come on. 75 to 95% of children. Go ahead.
But the transgender movement ignores these statistics.
Of course they do. Go ahead.
Aggressively pushing for gender dysphoria children to be treated with non-FDA approved uses of drugs.
Treat them. The drugs aren't even approved by the FDA. Doctors are prescribing the drugs and they're not even approved by the FDA. The Federal Drug Administration does not even approve of the federal drug that the doctor is giving to your child. But you're saying, let them be who they are. You're the same people scared of that damn COVID vaccine. But you're giving your child an unregulated drug. You're giving your child a non-FDA approved drug, but you're the same person scared of the COVID vaccine at the same time. It doesn't make sense. Read on.
Approved uses of drugs, even though side effects can include loss of bone density, decline of cognitive ability,
And infertility.
It's like, isn't the cognitive? That's with your mind.
That's your motor skills and all that. How well you see, how well you hand-eye, can you catch a ball? Yeah, go ahead.
And infertility.
So loss of bone density. You know, as a kid, you getting on the train. I'm gonna use New York as an instance. You get on the subway, you might jump from the third step to the last step, jump off, boom. Yeah, take these and jump. Boom, crack, break. Can't even be a damn kid. because you're pushing. First of all, decision making is adults. That's adults. Adults make decisions. Children just be quiet and take decisions. You understand? Now don't confuse that with you don't want to hear children, that whole pedophile rhetoric. As an adult, you make decisions. Children don't make the decisions that go on in the household. You understand? You jump from that third step to that last step after to that platform on the train after taking this. Your bones crack. Your leg break. Can't sue nobody. Can't say nobody at fault. You're gonna think, oh, my leg's just weak. No, that's the estrogen you take. That's the testosterone you take. Decline of cognitive ability. You can't catch a damn ball. Somebody opening the door coming out of a damn coffee shop, it smack you in your face because your cognitive ability is just horrible. You're becoming slow. You understand? You become slow. And infertility. You can't even have kids. If you decide this was a mistake, oh man, this is a mistake. I should have never started taking these pills. Let me go back. Ain't no going back. There's no going back. You can't have kids no more. You understand? They said the same thing to Boosie when Boosie criticized Dwayne Wade's son. He said, what if he changes his mind later? What if this is he said, what if he changes his mind? But I'm gonna help him out what he don't want to say for because he's a superstar.
Right.
What if he realized he's sick and he need help? And he get the help. You cut his thing off, he can't go back. It's over. That's it. Infertility. These non-FDA regulated drugs can cause your bones to be frail. You become slow as far as your motor skills, and you're infertile. Can't have kids. Please, man. Please drop down to but the evidence suggests, a couple paragraphs down, but the evidence suggests. No, transgender advocates.
Transgender advocates dismiss these concerns by sounding an alarm that gender dysphoria children will be at higher risk of suicide if they don't receive hormone treatment.
Adunya said it sounds like the FDA need to be put up on charges. I mean, it's not even the FDA. It sounds like these transgender groups should be brought up on charges because the FDA didn't approve this. The doctors that are prescribing this, the therapists that are prescribing this, the groups that are supporting this need to be brought up on charges because the FDA didn't approve it. They said, hey, man, these drugs look like it could kill you. But we want boys to be girls. Doctors, I've never heard of that. Go to the doctor with a real illness. Say, hey, man, I heard they got that cancer treatment that's supposed to cure cancer, like cure cancer, but it's not FDA approved. Can you give me a prescription for that? It's not FDA approved. I can't do that for you. Hey, man, they got that turn a boy to a girl thing, but it's not FDA approved. Oh, of course. Here you go. Come on.
Right.
Come on.
Wow.
Read that, but the evidence. No, Salaki, what he just read, that children who don't get gender reassigned will be at a higher risk of suicide because they're unhappy in life. When you're not happy in life, you get depressed, you commit suicide. That's what they're saying. But of course, they are mentally ill, right? So let's read the truth.
But the evidence suggests transgender treatments can actually increase the likelihood of suicide.
What the UPK been saying this before a damn study came out. But read the study.
A study in Sweden on adults who underwent sexual reassignment surgery showed they were 19 times more likely than the general population to commit suicide after undergoing operations.
Let me let you understand what 19 times mean. That means, let's say there's 100 people who commit suicide in Sweden a year, regular people. 100% increase would mean that 200 people that want to get the transgender surgery commit suicide. A 19 times increase means that if 100 regular people commit suicide in Sweden, that means 1,900 who get the transgender reassignment will commit suicide. 100 regular people will commit suicide. 1,900 will commit suicide if they get that damn surgery. If they start taking them pills. Yeah. Read on. This is going to be the last thing I read. Go ahead.
This is particularly noteworthy because in Sweden, culture support for those who identify as transgender is very strong. So social
stigma.
So social stigma is less likely to account for the suicide.
In Sweden, transgenders are welcome with open arms. So you can't say that, oh, they're doing that because people hate them. They said, no, in Sweden, everyone loves transgenders. Everyone loves you, but you still commit suicide at a, let me give you the percentage, at a 1,900% rate higher than the average public. That's because you're sick. You understand? I pray everybody understand. You're sick. You're sick. We understand how sick you are. And we understand that sickness will make you think that the only cure to that sickness is to go deeper into that sickness. Why do we understand that? Because it ain't nothing but Christianity. That ain't nothing but Christianity. Christianity is a lie. Break it down on the corner. What does a Christian do? Double down on their position. No, Christmas is good. Break down Christmas is bad. No, Christmas is good. No. With no proof, no evidence, just it's for the kids and it's a good time. And that's when Christ was born, even though you prove that's not true. They double down on it. Why? You're so sick, you think that the only cure is to go deeper into your sickness. That's how sick you are. That's how sick you are. It used to be except people that want to love, that want to have sex with the same sex. Now it's, accept your son at Wayne Wade, son was like 11 when he said this. Accept your 11-year-old son saying he want to chop his thing off. Questions? We'll be back here Friday, as y'all know. Captain Zara could be down here Friday to teach class in Jersey. Everybody come on through. We'll make an event out of that. That'll be Friday at 7 p.m. Captain Azariot. The Kemet Killer will be here on Friday. All right, let's get it going. With that being said, I Majum. Of Israel. I Majum Shabbat. I Majum Barak.
Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shabbat.
Benjamin Top. Dismissed.